On the topic of forgetting things, jokes aside, it's not just us, is it?
No.
The whole of society tends to forget things, especially lessons from the past. Why do you think that is?
I think that wherever we are in our timeline of the world, we view ourselves as the most advanced, the most civilized, the most well-informed, and that anything that has happened before us is probably not worth knowing about.
Yeah, arrogance.
We're very, very proudful. We really are.
Yeah.
Because we read a fair bit. And we don't just read modern stuff, we read older stuff. Both you and I will pick up time and time again things which are very old, which are just as relevant today as they were back then. Even one of the books, sort of my next book up off the bookshelf, which is Idle Thoughts of an Idle Man by Jerome K. Jerome.
All right, yeah.
Written in about 1889. And just reading through it last night, the observations that he's making about society and the things that he sees, spot on for today. So he was giving an example of a young man walking into a room where there's a gaggle of women and a baby, and how the men are often very clunky and not quite sure what to do with the baby, and the baby's handed to them, and the baby's got clothes on which are way too big for it, and what's the point of all of that? And so nothing has changed really, except for the fact that a lot of blokes these days are a bit more hands-on. But even saying that, I think that a lot of men are still a little bit hesitant when it comes to a newborn.
Some cultures that won't even do anything to do with the child rearing.
I love young kids from about 6 months and upwards when they're a bit more interactive with you, but newborn babies, nah, they're a little bit, what are you supposed to do with that then?
Yeah, I've got a new one coming in September.
Good on you, mate.
Another grandchild.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Got a way to catch up to you, though.
Yeah, only a few. You'll get there, I've got no doubt.
Talk about the forgetfulness of the past. I mean, Jerome K. Jerome, he famously wrote, was it Three Men in a Boat?
Yes.
It's quite humorous. But there is an arrogance that we have as a species, because you think about after World War One, and I know that's way ahead from that guy we were just talking about. 1919, we had the pandemic, the Spanish flu, killed millions. Now you'd think that there would have been lessons learnt there that we could have drawn on for COVID. Did anyone in your experience talk about those kind of lessons that we'd already learned?
Not in my experience, no, they didn't.
So there you go.
And a lot of the reason for that is because the way that we tend to respond to things today as well is very knee-jerk. We've got to fix it all now rather than actually just taking a moment and factoring in other areas that we need to consider. And so everything is quick, now, and people expect governments to respond quick, now. And anybody that's worked in a government or a government system knows that that's not the way that the machine works. If the government ever gives you a quick, now response, it's going to be crap, or it's going to be flawed, or it's not going to be very well thought out.